Brian, thank you very much for your time this afternoon.
Thank you for having me.
I know as Vice President of Sales for RiverWalk and In Seasons Resort that you are extremely busy, especially now. And again, so I really appreciate you taking a few minutes this afternoon. You know, the buzz here at the resort has been extraordinary over the last couple of weeks, and that is thanks to you and your team. So as you have kicked off the pre-sales for the West Wing here and our construction area, Phase 2, it's been unbelievable to hear what people are saying about that and about the event that you just did a couple of weeks ago. So I was hoping you could share a little bit about the event and also what some of the highlights from that day were.
Sure, I'd love to. The event, so as you know, we just kicked off sales last week. There was a lot of work that went into it, a lot of preparation. There was probably 100 people I could sit here and thank. But ultimately, we started off the next phase of sales here with something that I feel everyone can be proud of. The most exciting thing about the whole event, I would say, is probably everyone that participated made it a ton of fun.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
They enjoyed the process. They enjoyed the back and forth, the dialogue we had with everyone prior to. It was exciting. We were able to successfully sell out 25% of the resort in our very first day of launch. It's not something that was, you can say, often.
Yeah.
It's not something that didn't go without a lot of preparation, a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
But I can't think of a better way to start and to kick off Phase 2. And it's been anticipated. We've been waiting for it. The last couple of years definitely threw us a curveball, but at the end of it, I think we came out and started just the way we all saw it. And I couldn't be any prouder of the sales and marketing folks and the operations team along the way. And at the same time, thank everyone that participated in the event and made it a day that I'll truly never forget.
So Brian, can you tell me a little bit about how you got the vision for the event and how it all came together and how you pulled it off?
I'm not even sure when it all started.
Yeah.
I wanted it to be fun. This was something that we looked at this a couple of years ago, and my biggest concern where it started from was how do we give everybody that's interested in purchasing in the next phase, how do we give everyone an equal opportunity to meet with the sales team, sit down and look at what's the best choice for them. So where it started was this, I envisioned initially a massive, just a launch party, if you will,
yes.
and down at Foxwood as an example, right? And everyone having a great time, and then COVID hit. And then from there, we had to figure out, all right, how do we adjust? But the idea was still there because we were going to give, again, creating a level playing field and as transparent as it was incredibly important to me. And I hope that it was incredibly important to the people that currently own as well as our new buyers. So when COVID hit, it was a matter of it opened up a new platform for everyone.
Absolutely.
So virtual was now an option. And it just worked out well. I mean, some of the best successes from the day, I would say, is the level of excitement and the way it was embraced, not only by the staff here, and I'm not just talking about the staff in the real estate office, the operations team jumped on board, they were excited about it, our partners in marketing, they just, everyone, every step of the way was exciting because it wasn't about sales, it was about expansion, it was about RiverWalk, and that's the story.
Total team effort, it sounds like, for
100%.
sure. So, tell me a little bit about the logistics. Like, how did you set it up?
Renee, that's a great question. When we started, it was a big undertaking logistically. And I think I mentioned before, there was a lot of folks that made that happen. The biggest thing that we wanted to do was, well, when I saw this, was being able in real time to communicate with the owners so they could see the inventory is part of the event. That was the biggest thing that I wanted to look at. The other thing is, again, just coordinating everybody in one day. We had 50 phone calls to go through. We had 40 folks on a wait list, and it just pulled off. I mean, it all came together well. It was great. It was good.
And tell me a little bit about the feedback that you got from current owners here at RiverWalk, and then also new interested buyers.
We didn't get a lot of feedback. I think the best feedback would be the results speak for themselves. But the feedback in terms of what I did get was more along the lines of they like the process like I did. They likened it to a draft, you know, and the transparency I thought was important. That level of transparency is something that will continue through the rest of the sales program here, and we'll continue to prove upon that as well. I think that was beneficial. The fact that we were very open about our pricing strategy and what that meant. Which is very different. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yes? Okay. It all goes back to the level of transparency and the level of communication that the sales staff had in terms of working with the buyers up until the event happened, made this a very easy and seamless process for most folks. So Brian, based on the feedback that you got, what you learned from the owners and the new buyers, and also what you guys, the staff, learned, do you think this will change how you do future sales for the new building? 100%. After looking at this, and up until this point with sales, we've taken a very traditional approach. What's important as we look at the next phase is that for many of our owners, this is a long-term plan for them. This is where they're going to make their memories, we're going to raise their families, we're going to see their grandkids. So this is important. In terms of further construction down the road, I don't know what that looks like. I don't even know what we have going up here behind us. Sure. So it's important that we do it right for us as RiverWalk, and it's important that we do it right for our current owners and our potential owners, our future owners. The way that we're going to approach this is very similar in that this will have an event-based sales program. And the reason behind that is to allow people to take their time, to have the opportunity to go online and compare pricing and inventory and what's available, and to create a dynamic but yet a level playing field for everyone across the board. When we move forward in the next phase of sales, when the resort is open and we've taken occupancy, then we'll reconsider at that point. But from now until then, I want to make this a very easy and seamless process for anyone as they purchase. And I want to do the best that we can to steer folks and make sure that the decision that they do make is 100% the right one. And we're going to take our time and we're going to do that right. Great. Love to hear it. Absolutely love to hear it. And I wish you the best of luck with that. Not that you need it by any means, but again, it sounds like it's a great direction overall to move forward in. So now I'd like to change gears a little bit, and I would like to, if you don't mind, just ask you a couple little personal things about yourself here, okay? Perfect. You have been a key part in the sales efforts here at RiverWalk. Again, as Vice President of Sales for both RiverWalk and In Seasons, you have led the efforts here since this building opened a little over 6 years ago. Tell me a little bit about what that has been like. I can only imagine that has not been easy for you. So can you share a little bit what that has been like, and how is this project different than other projects you've done and other things you've done for In Seasons? First of all, don't blink. 6 years have gone by fast. I remember starting when there was just a few of us and we had 60, 70 owners and that was it. And now we're nearly 400 owners. I think I can answer all of that pretty easily. It all boils down to people. You look at where RiverWalk is different, where RiverWalk is special, is that our owners come back every opportunity they can to come back home. They come back home. Absolutely. And what that means is it validates what we do in the real estate office as important, but it also validates the fact of everything I just mentioned about how we approach the next path in sales, and that we know how important it is to RiverWalk, but more importantly, how much it means to our owners. What's made this different from other projects is, again, the people. You look at our operations staff, and I've said this many times, but that's where it all begins. That's where everything happens. Our people are proud to work here. They're proud to say that they belong to this team. they're proud to have input, and I think that comes from the top, and that starts with you and Dennis and the rest of the operations team. I think that from what makes this project special over maybe some others, again, it comes back to people. I consider many of these owners to be dear friends. I can't necessarily say that to be true of other projects I've been a part of. And I continue to hope that's the case here as we continue to grow. Growth is going to be our story, and growth is going to be what we're going to remember. Again, going back to people, but we're building a community. And to watch it grow, to watch it take on a life of its own, to watch all of that, and to know you had a small part in what that's going to mean to families I haven't even met yet, it's pretty awesome.
Agree. I think it's very exciting, really. You know, I couldn't agree more that RiverWalk is a special family, right? It's a combination of our employees and our owners here. So thank you. I appreciate you sharing that insight. And hopefully we can sit down again after the next event and continue to see how this all pulls together. But appreciate your time.
I'd love to. Thank you, Renee.
Yeah.